Good morning, everybody. I hope y'all are having a very, very blessed Sunday morning or afternoon. I'm sorry. Oh, my Sunday's starting out like that, I guess. Um, my Sunday morning, I say at 1:30 in the afternoon. Anyway, thank you for joining me here. I don't want you to know I appreciate each and every one of you. You are all blessings, and I don't ever want any of you to forget that. So, what I'm going to cover today is just some information that is focused on Texas, focused on Harris County. Excuse me, I've been talking a lot. Hi, Bayou Don. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so um, let me go to Governor Abbott's website and share this with you. All right, here we go. Now, I wanted to show you guys this site because this has so much information for Texas and what's going on, what orders the governor's put in, what items he's done, the special session that's going on right now that some people, I don't know that everybody is aware of or not. The link to this website is in the description. So feel free to get that link, go up there and take a look for yourself. Again, I'm not here to give you anybody's opinion but my own. Okay. And it's up to you to always look into what I give you and look for yourself. You're going to probably see more than I present here. I do have other platforms coming up here soon this week that I can speak more openly on. But I want to give everybody the opportunity for themselves. Y'all are smart. Y'all are really smart, and you can figure stuff out. So if you ever have questions or anything, please always comment. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. But let's take a look at this site real quick. So here, this is under home and then news. All right. And if you go here, the first thing we see is it says featured. Governor Abbott announces special session agenda. Here's a quote from our governor. The 87th legislative session was a monumental success for the people of Texas, but we have unfinished business to ensure that Texas remains the most exceptional state in America. So, regardless of your thoughts on Governor Abbott and what's going on, he's still our governor. Okay, so at least until the election comes up, he is our governor. We need to give him that respect, whether you agree with him or not. Okay, and we all need to look into the candidates coming up and discern for ourselves. I may cover some more of that as it gets closer, but for right now, I want to give the respect that is due. Okay, he may not be doing everything we want the way that we think he should or want him to, but that we have to always remember there may be reasons for that. Okay, so let's form our own opinions, definitely, absolutely, and hold him accountable. He is an elected official; he works for us, but use common sense too. Okay, and there's never any reason to be rude or mean about anything. All right. Only time that's appropriate is when you are defending yourself and being attacked. Okay. So let's look at this. Here is a few items that are up here from August 7th. The first one you see here says Governor Abbott appoints Valdez to Guadalupe Blanco River Authority Board of Directors. Okay. So this right here, he appointed Emmanuel Valdez to the Guadalupe Blanco River Authority Board of Directors, or GBRA, for a term set to expire on February 1st, 2023. All right. So you have the link. You can go in there and click and read about that. I'm not going to go through each and every single thing here. If anybody has a request that they want me to review on a show here, definitely put it in the comments. Okay. I will do my best for y'all. I'm here for you. August 7th, Governor Abbott appoints 3 to Lavaca Navidad River Authority. Governor Greg Abbott has appointed M. Vance Mitchell and reappointed Sandy Joes and Jennifer Powell Stores, I hope I'm not butchering their name, to the Lavaca Navidad River Authority for terms set to expire on May 1st, 2027. Okay? There's also a link under these where you can go in and click and read the appointment. August 7th, Governor Abbott appoints Luan to Texas Council on Sex Offender Treatment. Governor Greg Abbott has appointed Jarrett Luan to the Council on Sex Offender Treatment for a term set to expire on February 1, 2027. Okay? Again, on August 7th, Governor Abbott appoints Taylor and Walker to Texas Board of Architectural Examiners. Governor Greg Abbott has appointed Lauren Taylor and reappointed Jennifer Walker to the Texas Board of Architectural Examiners for terms set to expire January 31st, 2027. Excuse me. I've been talking a lot. August 7th again. Governor Abbott appoints Iglesias to Texas State Library and Archives Commission. Governor Greg Abbott has appointed David Iglesias to the Texas State Library and Archives Commission, TSLAC, for a term set to expire on September 28, 2021. Okay? So that was from August 7th. Sorry. Everything that you can see here goes through August 6th. August 6th. Again, Governor Abbott appoints Starrett Burnett to 169th Judicial District Court. And they all have when their appointments expire in here. Okay? So I want you all to go and look through all of this. All right? There's a couple things that, I don't know, came to my attention. Maybe it's something, maybe it's not. But I wanted to point out something. The first one here is a river authority. The second one is a river authority. All right? The third one has to do with evil people. Okay? Then the next one has to do with building architectural people. And then the last one has to do with information. So there's some dots. You put them together. Again, on the right side of this website, there's all his press releases you can click on, his appointments that he's made, any proclamations, which gets into what I'm going to show you here in a minute, and then legislative statements. You can see all the news archives of everything going back, and then anything to do with legislation and action that has been taken for Texas. Okay, you can find here. Any bills the governor has signed are right here. Okay, all bills that have been filed without signature by Governor Abbott are right here. All bills that he vetoed are right here. And legislature online bill search. So what's coming up? Okay, so there is one of those for each of these here. I would highly recommend that everybody goes and signs up for the newsletter because you can get some great information when it's released to your email. All right. So let me move on to the next thing. Bear with me one moment. I hope everybody is having a beautiful, beautiful Sunday and enjoying today. Get out, enjoy it. There's so much beauty and just, it's beautiful out. Even if it is 100 and something degrees, you can still appreciate beauty. All right. Let's see here. Now I'm going to move over to my county. All right. This is Harris County, Texas. For those of you that don't know, Harris County, Texas is Houston, Texas. Okay. We are the fourth largest, and some would dispute that it may be even higher than Forest, but erring on the side of caution here, we're the fourth largest city in our nation. Okay. And we have a very busy port. We have a very busy city. I love our city. I love the people here, and I'm proud of all of the patriots here in Houston. Now, on the other hand, like anywhere where we all live, there's good and bad. All right. And I call Houston the snake pit of Texas. And there's a reason for that. We have a lot of vipers in this den. I don't know if you all remember Mike Pompeo discussing Houston a while ago and what happened here with our consulate conveniently right before our big day in 2020. The State Department under Mike Pompeo closed down the Chinese consulate here in Houston because he called it a den of spies. So it gives you a little idea of why I call it what I do. All right. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to give you guys some dots again. I'll give you my opinion, but discern for yourself. Give me 1 second. Okay. So the link for this site is in the description as well. This is the agenda for harriscountytexas.gov. These are the page we're on is the how do I put this? I want to be careful on this platform. The thing that's going around right now. Okay. I'll just leave it at that. These are the orders that our judge here from the Harris County Commissioner's Court, LINA HIDALGO, okay, has put out. This is right here the 5 Harris County commissioners being highlighted at the top of this page. All right. LINA HIDALGO and Houston, Harris County, I believe is in a what I like to call silent war right now. And the reason I say that is because what they are doing here in my home, in my county, in our home, our county, is they are trying to go against the lead head of our sovereign state, which is our governor. Okay? And there are other forces behind these people, all right, that are, I don't know if they're compromised and owned. I don't know their reasoning. And I always like to say, God is the only one that knows our heart, all right, besides us. Of course, we do. But so doing something knowingly that you know is not the good of people, to me, is a crime. But that's just my opinion because anybody that can hurt another person or people knowingly is evil. I'm sorry. I mean, we all make mistakes. We get mad. We lose our temper. You know, that stuff happens. But I think you guys get where I'm going. Again, if you have questions, let me know. I will give you my opinion. It's only my opinion. I am not by any means a professional lawyer, a doctor. I am none of that. I am just a patriot who's here that loves all good people. So let's go through this real quick. So you can see up here, March 11th, 2020, is the first item on this page. It says order and the date. Declaration of local disaster for public health emergency. So this is from March 11th, 2020, last year. Let's click on it. All right. Here is her order. I'm going to run through this with you, okay? This one's short, so it's a good one to run through. Again, the link is in the description. Go up there, read through them. Look up anything you don't understand that it means, okay? So let's go through this real quick. From March 11th, 2020, declaration of local disaster for public health emergency. So this is for the county of Harris County in Texas, from LINA Hidalgo, County Judge, Director of Public Health. It says, whereas beginning in December 2019, a novel sickness, now designated as 19, was detected in Wuhan City, Hubei Province, China, and has since spread throughout the world. And let me just stop really quick. YouTube, I am reading from our public health director's order, okay? Just wanted to preface that. Whereas symptoms of 19 include fever, coughing, and shortness of breath. In some cases, it has caused death, and whereas extraordinary measures must be taken to contain it and prevent its spread throughout Harris County, including the quarantine of individuals, groups of individuals, and property, and additionally, including compelling individuals, groups of individuals, or property to undergo additional health measures that prevent or control the spread of this sickness. I want to pause for a second. That statement right there has huge implications. Okay, so keep that in mind. Moving on. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the County Judge of Harris County, Texas, 1, that a local state of disaster for public health emergency is hereby declared for Harris County, Texas, pursuant to Section 418.108A of the Texas Government Code. Number 2, pursuant to Section 418.108B of the Texas Government Code, the state of disaster for public health emergency shall continue for a period of not more than 7 days from the date of this declaration, unless continued or renewed by the Commissioner's Court of Harris County, Texas. Okay? Number 3, pursuant to Section 418.108C of the Government Code, this declaration of a local state of disaster for public health emergency shall be given prompt and general publicity and shall be filed promptly with the county clerk. Okay? Number 4, pursuant to Section 418.108D of the Government Code, this declaration of a local state of disaster activates the Harris County Emergency Management Plan. Number 5, any individual, group of individuals, or property subject to a local health authority order restricting the movement of that individual or group of individuals, or restricting movement to, from, or within that property, shall limit ingress and egress, and shall take such measures as specified by that local health authority order. Okay? Ingress and egress is coming and going. Okay? Number 6, that this proclamation shall take effect immediately from and after its issuance. All right? Declared this the 11th day of March 2020. All right? And then there is Harris County Judge LINA HIDALGO's signature. All right? And you can, on the bottom of this, I believe, hopefully, hold on, let me make sure. You guys can, yes, you can see the bottom. On the bottom of this declaration is the address, phone number, fax number, and website. I recommend everybody have this information, okay? Because if there's anything you disagree with or you see, we need to let them hear from us, okay? So now let's go back. That was March 11, 2020, okay? So on March 16th, as you can see, she put in an order for food establishments and the bar order. March 17th, she did extension of declaration of local disaster, which is what we just covered, okay? March 19th, she made an amendment. It says gatherings of 10 or more in bars and restaurants. 19th, an order for county buildings. The 24th, extension of declaration again. 27th, commandeer order. Okay, we'll go over that in a minute. And then April 1st, jail release order. All right. I recommend you go in and read everything above here that I just read to you, but we're going to take a look at commandeer order right now. Mind you, dated March 27th, 2020. All right. Now, the declaration is done up here on March 11th, but you can see the continuations above. All right. We're going to read this, or I'm going to read this. Sorry. This is, again, from County Judge LINA HIDALGO. Okay. Now, notice up here, Harris County. This is different than the other one. This represents Harris County, Homeland Security and Emergency Management, Texas. County Judge LINA HIDALGO, again, director. Okay. Another dot. Order of County Judge LINA HIDALGO to commandeer property needed to cope with a disaster. This is important. Whereas on March 11, 2020, Harris County Judge LINA HIDALGO issued a declaration of local disaster for public health emergency to allow Harris County to take measures to reduce the possibility of exposure and promote the health and safety of Harris County residents in accordance with Section 108 of the Texas Government Code. And whereas on March 13, 2020, a declaration of state of disaster was issued by Governor Abbott to take additional steps to prepare for, respond to, and mitigate the spread of the illness to protect the health and welfare of Texans. And whereas on March 16, 2020, President Trump at the time acknowledged the gravity of the illness pandemic, releasing strict new guidelines to limit people's interactions, including that Americans should avoid groups of more than 10 people. And whereas on March 17, 2020, the Harris County Commissioners Court issued an order at a special meeting of Commissioners Court approving the extension to March 25th, 2020 of the declaration of local disaster for public health emergency declared by County Judge LINA HIDALGO and signed on March 11th, 2020. And whereas on March 19th, 2020, Governor Abbott issued the first public health disaster declaration released in the state of Texas since the year 1901, and an executive order which, among other things, prohibits Texans from gathering in groups of more than 10 persons. And whereas on March 24th, 2020, the Harris County Commissioners Court issued an order approving the extension until April 29th, 2020, of the declaration of local disaster for public health emergency declared by County LINA, Judge LINA HIDALGO, and signed on March 11th, 2020, and extended at a special meeting of Commissioners Court on March 17th, 2020 to March 25th, 2020. And whereas the sickness is contagious and spreads through person-to-person contact, especially in group settings, whereas the sickness causes property loss or damage due to its inability to attach to surfaces for prolonged periods of time. For its ability, I'm sorry, I misspoke. YouTube, if you hear that, I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and read that again. Whereas this sickness causes property loss or damage due to its ability to attach to surfaces for prolonged periods of time. Whereas in Proclamation 9994 of March 13, 2020, which was declaring a national emergency concerning the novel sickness outbreak, the President of the United States declared a national emergency recognizing the threat that the novel sickness, known as, you can read it right here, poses to our nation's healthcare system. All right? Page 2. I'm sorry, I know this isn't sexy. I know it isn't all exciting, but it's very important. I need you to connect dots, okay? Whereas Harris County and other local governments have taken preventative and proactive measures to slow the spread of the sickness and to treat those affected and the spread of the sickness within our communities threatens to strain the county's healthcare systems. Whereas on March 23rd, 2020, the President of the United States issued an executive order recognizing that personal protective equipment and sanitizing and disinfecting products must be readily available to ensure that our nation's healthcare systems are able to surge capacity and capability to respond to the spread of the sickness. And here, again, if you click on this order on the website I provided, you can click on this link right here, okay, and go see the executive order about preventing hoarding health material resources as a response to the illness, okay? Whereas N. Nancy 95 covers and other medical supplies provide essential protection to medical personnel treating infected people and are in short supply and cannot be obtained through normal supply chains at this time. Now remember, this is going back to 2020. Whereas the county judge may commandeer or use any private property if the county judge finds it necessary to cope with a disaster, subject to the compensation requirements of Texas Government Code 418.107. Okay? Again, another dot. Whereas on March 24th, 2020, Governor Abbott issued an executive order recognizing that a shortage of hospital capacity or personnel protective equipment would hinder efforts to cope with the illness and its disaster. And now, therefore, I, County Judge for Harris County, Texas, pursuant to the authority vested by Texas Government Code Chapter 418, hereby find and order. Excuse me. That the findings and recitations set out in the preamble to this order are found to be true and correct, and they are hereby adopted by the county judge and made a part hereof for all purposes. This order is in addition to any previous orders issued by the Harris County judge. Harris County hereby commandeers and seizes the following property in the possession or control of Auctions Unlimited LLC. Okay? You can see back then in 2020, the county commandeered and seized the following property in possession or control of this company. And here's what they said they needed, and I'm guessing they took. Such items are called the property in this order. Harris County is in need of the property to protect the health and safety of Harris County residents and to cope with the declared disaster. Harris County employees, officials, and contractors are authorized and ordered to enter upon the premises of Auctions Unlimited LLC at 8777 Tally Ho Road, Building 3, Houston, Texas. There's a zip code. Or any other premises controlled by Auctions Unlimited LLC for the purpose of inspecting and performing such other actions as are necessary to identify and locate the property and ascertain its suitability for use by the county and to take immediate possession of the property. Okay? This person, all right, I'm gonna read it. It's on here. This is a county order. I'm not trying to dox anybody. Tim Worstel, or any employee at the time, officer, director, partner, subcontractor, or agent of Auctions Unlimited LLC shall immediately and upon demand of the Harris County purchasing agent turn over and deliver to Harris County the property. Harris County officials, employees, and contractors. Harris County officials, employees, and contractors are authorized and ordered to take immediate possession of the property and exclude any persons who may impede their actions. The owner or owners of the property shall be entitled to file a claim for compensation and shall be compensated in accordance with the laws of the state of Texas. The purchasing agent, the sheriff, the constables, and all other Harris County officials and employees are ordered and authorized to do any and all things necessary or convenient to accomplish the purpose of this order. It is so ordered and signed on March 27th, 2020 at 12:30 p.m. by LINA Hidalgo, Harris County Judge. All right. So I hope you all stuck with me on that. I know this stuff isn't sexy, I guess is what I call it, but it's so important. You know, what's going on right now? What's going on, not just in our county, you know, what's going on all over in our cities, in our states. Okay? These are dots. You can look into it, and I'm giving you dots. Okay? I'll give my opinion, you know, here and there, and that's all it is. I'm not I am not insinuating that anything wrong has been done by any means. Okay? I'm just giving you information, and information is important. Okay? All right. So, on to the next one here. All right. So, that was March 27th, 2020, her commandeer order. Jail release, we'll take a look at that, April 1st, 2020. All right. Again, LINA Hidalgo, County Judge, Director, Harris County, Homeland Security and Emergency Management. Not going to read through all of this. It's 14 pages. Okay. But please, please, please go up on that link I gave you. Okay. In the description, take a look at these for yourself. All right. Ordered by the County Judge of Harris County. All right. The top of this basically to me, goes through, she just states, where she did the declaration of local disaster for a public emergency. And that she's stating that she's taking measures to reduce the possibility of exposure and promote health and safety of Harris County residents. Okay. And then all the other things. So let's get down here. Subject only to constitutional limitations, all courts in Texas may in any case, civil or criminal, okay, and must, to avoid risk to court staff, parties, attorneys, jurors, and the public without a participant's consent, A, modify or suspend any and all deadlines and procedures, whether prescribed by statute, rule, or order, for a stated period ending no later than 30 days after the governor's state of disaster has been lifted. Allow or require anyone involved in any hearing, deposition, or other proceeding of any kind, including but not limited to a party, attorney, witness, or court reporter, but not including a juror, to participate remotely, such as by teleconferencing, video conferencing, or other means. C, consider as evidence sworn statements made out of court or sworn testimony given remotely, out of court, such as by teleconferencing, video conferencing, or other means. D, conduct proceedings away from the court's usual location, but in the court of venue, and only with reasonable notice and access to the participants and to the public. E, require every participant in a proceeding to alert the court if the participant isn't feeling good, and take any other reasonable action to avoid the exposure of anyone else. Okay? So here she goes through explaining, I guess, why and where she's getting the authority, etc. But it says, whereas on March 13th, 2020, Harris County Criminal Courts at law posted this related public safety notice on their website, suspending jury service and stating, in part, in an effort to encourage the safety of the public and court staff members from getting sick, the county criminal court at law judges are not requiring accused individuals on the bond docket to come to court unless they are, one, excuse me, scheduled for an arraignment setting, two, set for a plea, three, do not have an attorney of record, or four, directly ordered by the judge of the presiding court. Missed court appearances will not lead to bond forfeitures or bond revocations outside of the above four exceptions. All individuals with an attorney, hired or appointed, shall not attend their court settings until further notice. Please continue to contact your attorney if you have questions. And then the next thing, of course, is if you have symptoms or have traveled. So this is back last year. Interesting piece of information. Of course, this is where they were, not wanting anybody coming in, etc. Let me read this real quick. March 18th, 2020, the Harris County District Courts trying criminal cases issued a joint statement on felony court operations during this time, seeking, with exceptions relating to preliminary assigned court appearances, to limit in-court appearances to protect public health and safety while adhering to the concepts of justice and the rule of law. Through May 8th, 2020, unless later revised by. Okay? And, please go up here and read through this. It's important. If you have a loved one, that's incarcerated or anything like that, there's a lot of good information here. If your attorneys or their attorneys haven't seen this, I don't know, they should. I'm not a lawyer. I don't claim to be. I don't know. It's just information dots I'm giving you. Okay, I'm not going to go through this whole one. It's 14 pages. But let's go back. Okay, that was April 1st, 2020. Now, as you can see here, she's put in an amended extended stay home work safe order, a Tuesday trustee sale order, temporary closure of Harris County parks, use of face coverings, amended order of use, order extending the declaration of local disaster for public health emergency to May 20th, 2020, which was on April 28th, 2020. Let's see here. Temporarily controlling the occupancy of a premises. Let's click on that one. All right, again, Judge LINA HIDALGO, Director, County Judge, Harris County, Homeland Security and Emergency Management. This is 5 pages, but this is important. Order by the County Judge of Harris County, temporarily controlling the occupancy of a premises, our premises, okay? Our businesses, our homes, whatever it may be. Whereas on March 11th, 2020, Harris County Judge LINA HIDALGO issued a declaration of local disaster for public health emergency to allow Harris County to take measures to reduce the possibility of exposure and promote health and safety of Harris County residents in accordance with, there's that section 418.108A of the Texas Government Code. Okay, then she goes on to repeat about Governor Abbott's declaration disaster, and then the Texas Supreme Court and the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals issued an emergency order on the state of disaster, which provides the following directives to Texas courts to avoid exposure. Which here says until May 8th, 2020, unless extended by Chief Justice of Supreme Court of Texas. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Subject only to constitutional limitations. That's important. All courts in Texas may, in any any case, civil or criminal, and must, to avoid risk to court staff, parties, attorneys, juries, and the public, without a participant's consent. Okay? Without a participant's consent, modify or suspend any and all deadlines and procedures, whether prescribed by statute, rule, or order, for a stated period ending no later than 30 days after the governor's state of disaster has been lifted. That's important. Take any other reasonable action to avoid exposing courts, etc. All right? Now, she's saying here, whereas in March 2020, the U.S. CDC issued guidance as to individuals, recommending that individuals practice social or physical distancing, the whole stay out of crowds, stay away from, don't stand too close to people, etc., mass gatherings, we're not going to go through all that. We all know what the CDC recommends, and we can all get up on their website and look back to 2020, look at today, whatever. I highly recommend that. All right, so this just goes through some of the things talking about, what the county is saying they wanted us to do at that time and what their right was. Okay, that's what this is. Let me see. Bear with me. She's repeating some stuff I already read to you. Okay, here. Whereas on March 24, 2020, Harris County judge issued a stay home, work safe order prohibiting gatherings and providing that residents stay home other than to perform essential services as defined in federal guidance. The stay home, work safe order provided that in performing or obtaining essential services, residents should follow CDC guidelines on social distancing. Okay? And Governor Abbott issued Executive Order GA14 implementing essential services and activities protocols through April 30th, 2020, and expanding the social distancing restrictions and other obligations for Texans that are aimed at slowing the spread of this illness, including limiting social gatherings and in-person contact with people other than those in the same household. Okay? So this is what we're kind of reviewing what we've already been through, and I'm sorry, you guys. I know we've all lived through it. It's horrible. But we need to keep these things in mind because we're going through it again. So I think we can learn a lot about the future from the past. Okay? So I highly recommend you go look at the executive orders that Governor Abbott has up on the previous website that I showed you. All right. I'll skip over some of this for you. Here it says, whereas on April 17th, 2020, Governor Abbott issued Executive Order GA16 to replace Executive Order GA14 and included the same social distancing restrictions and other obligations for Texas according to federal guidelines that are aimed at slowing the spread. And whereas on April 27th, 2020, Governor Abbott issued Executive Order GA18 to replace Executive Order GA16, providing, among other things, that every person in Texas shall, except where necessary to provide or obtain essential services or reopened services, minimize social gatherings, minimize in-person contact with other people who are not in the same household in accordance with the guidance from DSHS Commissioner Dr. Hellerstedt, and to achieve the goals established by the president to reduce the spread. Okay, that's what was going on then. May have some meaning now. Again, it shows on April 2020, the Texas Supreme Court issued its 12th order regarding the sickness and our state of disaster. And then it's very important that we all read the first part of what the Texas Supreme Court issued states subject only to constitutional limitations. Okay, that's important. So goes through the court proceedings here, goes through where, you can see here where the governor has put out orders and then replaced them as things change. Go on the website for the governor's office to see his recent orders and to see the last order that's in place. Okay. Okay. So here we see Governor Abbott issued Executive Order GA 18 to replace number 16. This is where the governor is giving us his guidance for our state, our sovereign state of Texas. Okay. Then here, on April 28, 2020, Harris County Commissioners Court extended the declaration of local disaster for public health emergency in accordance to the Texas Government Code. Okay. Now, on April 28th, Harris County judge issued an amended order regarding the use of coverings, which, among other things, encourages individuals to continue to maintain social distance of at least 6 feet when outside their residence and in a public place. Okay. Then she goes in to explain that this illness is contagious and it spreads person to person, and especially in group settings. Now, whereas a county judge acts as the emergency management director for the county and services as the governor's designated agent in the administration and supervision of duties during a state of emergency declared by the governor in accordance with this section. Okay? This is what she's saying. A county judge serving as the governor's designated agent in the administration and supervision of duties during a state emergency declared by the governor may exercise the powers granted to the governor. Let me repeat that. This is stating a county judge acting as a governor's designated agent, okay, may exercise the powers granted to the governor under this chapter on an appropriate local scale, in accordance, of course, with the same section she's saying. Here again, a county judge serving as a governor's agent, let's see here, may use state or federal resources without prior authorization from the division or the state or federal agency having responsibility for those resources. That's a big one. A county judge serving as the governor's designated agent, which she just stated that she can exercise the powers granted to the governor. So she's saying she can exercise all of the powers that the governor has in that one above there. Okay. Now she's saying that she may use state or federal resources without prior authorization. Okay. From the division or the state or the federal agency that has the responsibility for those resources. Okay. Next one. Now she's saying a county judge as a governor's designated agent Let's see here. Because the governor has declared an emergency, she, the county judge, is authorized to control ingress to and egress from a disaster area and control the movement of persons and the occupancy of premises on an appropriate local scale. I hope you all understand this. Okay? Because here, there's a declaration of a local disaster. A county judge is authorized to control the coming in and going out of a disaster area and control the movement of people and the occupancy of premises. I occupy my home. So I guess that's the way I see it. You know, you occupy your business, you occupy your home, whatever it may be. Now listen to this. If I have any diggers out there, I want someone to dig. Okay? I've done a lot of digging. But anyway, whereas pursuant to section 51.002 of the Texas Property Code, a sale of real property under a power of sale conferred by a deed of trust or other contract lien must be a public sale at an auction held between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. of the first Tuesday of a month at a place designated by the Commissioner's Court and pursuant to section 34.01 of Texas Property Tax Code, real property ordered, sold pursuant to foreclosure of a tax lien shall be sold in the manner similar property is sold under execution. Okay? Now, here again it says, pursuant to section 34.041 of the Texas Civil Practice and Remedies Code, a sale of real property is that property that is required by court order or other law must take place between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. on the first Tuesday of a month at a place designated by Commissioner's Court. Okay? And then here it says, the Commissioner's Court has designated, the Harris County Commissioner's Court has designated the Bayou City Event Center at 9401 Knight Road, Houston, Texas, as the place for the sale described herein to occur. May 5th, at this time, is the first Tuesday of the month, and the sale described herein are conducted by numerous parties who each send one or more representatives or employees to the sale and attract hundreds of attendees who stand in close proximity to other attendees to participate in the sale. It would be impossible to conduct the sale described herein in accordance with federal, state, and local executive orders and guidance on social distancing. Okay, so it says here now, therefore, I, County Judge for Harris County, Texas, pursuant to the authority vested by the Texas Government Code Chapter 418, hereby find an order that the findings and recitations set out in the preamble of this order are found to be true, correct, and they are hereby adopted by the county judge and made a part hereof for all purposes. That the Bayou City Center at that location may not be accessed by the public on May 5th. Okay? So we can come take your, I don't know if this happened, and I have no proof of anything. I'm just saying when I read this, this is what I think. We can come take your property. We can commandeer it. We'll give you what we think is the value. Okay? And then we can sell it, but you're not allowed. You know, the public's not allowed. That's not right. So I don't know what happened back then. You know, um, I pray for anybody that if anything did go wrong, I pray for them. All right. So anyway, let's see here. It says here that the actions required by this order are undertaken in deference to Governor Abbott's executive order GA 18 and are intended to be consistent with executive order GA 18 in all aspects. Now, I didn't know what in deference to meant. So I looked it up, and it's kind of interesting because what came up um, is an old case, and it's called the Chevron case. Now, I'm not a lawyer, okay? I just know how to use the internet and have a brain. So what I found was a lot of these Democrats legally are using the Chevron case as a way to do whatever they're doing. So if you look up Chevron, just like the gas station, Chevron, you know, it's spelled the same. Look up the Chevron case. It'll probably lead you on the same path that I found. And you can see in a lot of places where people are complaining and they're saying, hey, these Democrats are using this legally to try to get their way. It's basically my opinion and what I thought and what I found. If you disagree with me, tell me. Please put something in the comments. You don't have to agree with me. I don't want you to. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong because I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a normal, everyday citizen. All right? And just sharing what I found. All right. So this has gone long, and I know it's a lot, but there's a lot of information, you guys. All right. And I'm going to go back here because let's see, I'm already on an hour. So please go to your state websites. Okay. Look up your governors, look up what they're doing legally. Look for the legal stuff. Okay. Don't look for the, oh, it feels good. It's nice and happy. You know, look for the legal stuff. That's where they hide everything. Know your rights. Okay. Know the rights they are changing on us by these declarations and orders, suspension of laws and stuff like that. Now, like I said, I am not a lawyer, you know, but if you are, I'd love to hear from you. I really would, because I'd like to see your take on it, you know? I'd be real interested in hearing what you think about all this. But anyway, for right now, I think I've given you guys some dots, some stuff to go look into. But it is very important right now because you know the saying, history repeats itself, right? We've all heard that. I think history is repeating itself, and I think it's going to be a lot worse, in my opinion. And I don't think we have much time. So if you do anything today, do what we just did here, but for your home and your area, okay? Okay. John, thank you. I just saw that. Yeah. If anybody can see, I'm going to put this up. I can't. There you go. Thanks, John. I appreciate that. I will definitely, I know who they are. I've looked at it and I love them. I pray for them every day. But I appreciate you guys being here. You know, besides our fun time lives that I try to do from time to time, I try not to take up too much of your time. I want you spending your time right now being aware of what's going on around you in your community. You know, go to the store if you can, you know, get some, just a few extra things, you know, um, but don't be afraid. Seriously, okay? There's nothing to be afraid of. We're in great hands, and we need to lean on each other and be there for each other, okay? And there's going to be a time where, you know, I'm not independently wealthy by any means. You know, I got bills like everybody else, and I can't always prepare the way I want to because of limited resources, you know? But that's where we all come together, you know? And I'm the type of person that, you know, I'll give you my last bottle of water if you need it. So I want us all to be like that. We got some tough times coming up, but we're going to get through it and we're going to be okay. And there's nothing to be afraid of. There are people that know what's going on. Just trust that. Okay. They know what's going on. They've been prepared for this for a long time. All right. So just enjoy the time with your family that you have, you know. Um, if you do go out or travel or something, I wouldn't recommend traveling too far, but you know, sometimes you can't always control things. So, you know, just be aware of what's going on and be smart. All right. I'll be back here in a little bit with some other stuff. I appreciate you guys for hanging in there with me. I know this stuff can be boring, but it's so important. Okay. Please share this. You know, I know it's just Harris County, but share this because what we just did applies anywhere. All right. I love you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday, and I'll see you back here in a little bit. Be blessed. Smile. Be happy.